Lucas, please listen to me. I swear I didn't steal anything. I would never do that. I could never steal something that belonged to your late wife.
Pack your things. You've got half an hour to get out. If I find you still here, I'll call the police and have you thrown in jail. Get out of my sight.
Hey everyone, I'm Bero, the creator of English Stories with Bero. I honestly can't thank you enough for all the amazing comments. Reading them totally makes my day. If you're new here, I'd love for you to join our family by hitting that subscribe button and turning on notifications. I've got a really special story for you today, so let me know what you think in the comments. Now, let's jump right into today's story.
Our story begins in a big mansion where a man in his early 30s lives with his twin sons after his wife passed away. The nanny stood there, scared of him and his reaction to what she had done. At that moment, the kids were asleep in their beds. Then he walked up to her and dragged her outside.
Pack your things. Take the rest of your pay and leave. And thank God I'm not holding you accountable for neglecting my kids.
Mr. Lucas, I didn't do anything. Leo and Owen were asleep. I got an important call, so I answered it, and I lost track of time. I didn't even notice them or hear them crying.
That's what happened today. I'm talking about what's been happening before.
She got more scared and asked him nervously,
What do you mean, mister?
You'll find out what I mean. Someone like you can't fool me or play me.
Lucas called out loudly for his personal bodyguard, the one he never goes without. Minutes later, the man walked in. He was very big, standing in front of Lucas with respect. He handed him an iPad, open to video clips of the nanny with the kids. Lucas put the iPad in her hands. She started watching the clips, clearly showing how neglectful she was, always leaving them crying. But whenever Lucas was around, she acted completely different and took good care of them.
I trusted you. I never checked the security cameras. But today, I decided to check on the kids since I didn't see them this morning before I left. And lucky for you, I found them crying while you were busy chatting on your phone. So I had to check the rest of the footage and see everything you've been doing.
Mr. Lucas, I'm sorry. Please don't fire me. I support the whole household. Forgive me. I promise you'll see completely different treatment.
Unfortunately, I've lost trust in you. And once I lose trust in someone, I can never get it back. Thank God you're leaving here on your own feet. Now go ahead, take your pay and leave. I don't want to see your face again. Get out.
The nanny nodded sadly and walked away, thanking God he didn't hurt her, even though she had been neglecting his children and always leaving them crying. Lucas then turned to his bodyguard.
Max, put an ad in the papers. I want a girl fully dedicated to Leo and Owen, and I'll handle the interview myself. Understood?
Yes, sir.
Send all the work here to the house. I'll handle it. Any meetings? Have the secretary postpone them today.
Yes, Mr. Lucas.
Lucas signaled for him to leave so he could carry out the orders. Lucas then looked at a picture of his wife, his childhood and youthful love, as he believed. He touched her picture as she smiled.
Since you left us, we've all been struggling. Without you, I feel like I'm not even living. For the first time, I feel like an orphan. You filled my whole world and my life. After you left, I became alone. Forgive me for falling short with Leo and Owen, but I can't help it. Work takes all my time, and I barely get to see them. But believe me, I'll fix this soon. I'll find someone kind to them, someone who will take good care of them. Just forgive me.
In another place, in a very simple apartment in a modest neighborhood, A girl in her early 20s sat, looking for a job. She smiled as soon as she found a job ad. She took the number and decided to contact them. They gave her an appointment to come in. She opened her closet and started picking what to wear. She chose a very simple outfit for the interview. The next morning, she woke up, got dressed, and left her small apartment for the interview. She arrived at Lucas Stone Group. She was amazed by the massive place she had only heard about. She had always hoped to see it one day, but never imagined she'd walk in herself, or even meet the company director for an interview. She sat in the waiting area with the other girls. She looked at them and spoke to herself.
You're always losing this kind of comparison, Lena. Of course they'll pick one of these girls. They look the part. No way they'd choose you. But it doesn't hurt to try.
The girls started going in one after another, all with bright smiles. But what caught her attention was that most of them came out upset, some even crying because of the boss. She looked around and went over everything one last time. She realized she was the only one left waiting. She grabbed her bag and decided to leave, but stopped when she heard someone call her name.
Lena Carter.
She turned, nervous.
Yes, that's me.
Go ahead, miss. It's your turn. The boss is waiting.
She nodded and walked into the office, scared and very nervous. She wished she had decided to leave earlier, but it was too late. Lena sat down. Lucas spoke firmly.
Name, age, qualifications.
My name is Lena. I'm 20 years old. I finished high school, but I couldn't continue college for personal reasons.
You read the ad carefully, right, Miss Lena?
Yes, sir. I've never worked as a nanny before, but kids don't need much. They just need to feel safe and cared for, and someone who truly loves kids and knows how to deal with them.
You're right, but not everyone thinks that way.
Not everyone is the same, sir. For some people, kids are their whole life, especially someone who's alone. They feel like kids fill that emptiness, and others just see kids as a nuisance.
All right, I like the way you think. There was a condition in the ad, full dedication to the kids. That means you'll be with them in the house. To be clear, you'll be living with us.
Lena got nervous at his last words. Lucas quickly clarified.
My house. I don't live alone. I live with my kids and a full staff. You won't be alone. You'll have your own room, and of course no one enters it but you.
Lena thought to herself. It was a good offer, especially since she was behind on rent for her small apartment. She made her decision.
Okay, sir. I agree. When can I start?
He placed a paper and pen in front of her.
Go ahead. Write the salary you want and sign the papers. You can start today if you'd like.
She wrote a very small amount, very small for Lucas, but big for her. She signed the papers.
Can I start tomorrow, so I can get my things ready?
Fine, no problem. Go ahead, Miss Lena.
Lena left the office, happy, very happy that she finally got the job. As for Lucas, he called Max.
Find out everything about the girl who just left, Lena Carter. I want all the information tonight.
That night, Lucas was sitting in his office at the mansion after checking on his kids. Max walked in and placed a file in front of him.
Her name is Lena Carter. She's 20 years old. She lives in a modest neighborhood in a small 2-room apartment. She's 5 months behind on rent. Orphan, both parents are gone. She didn't continue her education after high school because of her father's death. He was the last person she had. She keeps to herself. Simple girl. Very kind.
So, she's suitable?
Very, sir.
Good. You can go.
The next day, Lena started her job at Lucas's mansion. He was really impressed with how much she cared about his kids, and he felt she was the right choice, the only one he could trust with them. 5 years later, a lot had changed. Lena lived with them in the mansion, and the kids had become a big part of her life. As for Lucas, he felt reassured knowing he had brought someone kind and trustworthy into his children's lives, someone who could make up for what they were missing. One morning, Lucas woke up to a small hand touching his face. He smiled as he opened his eyes.
Good morning, Leo.
Daddy!
Lucas hugged him gently.
My little love, always scratching my beard.
He sat up and picked him up.
Go play with your toys till I take a shower and come back. Then we'll go see Owen, who still acts like he doesn't have a dad.
In another room, Lena was holding Owen in her arms after getting him dressed. She walked to the kitchen and started making breakfast for the kids herself, just like she'd been doing since her first day there. She set the table, and at the same time, Lucas came down carrying Leo. He sat in his chair and reached out to take Owen, but Owen refused and held on to Lena.
Mama!
Lucas smiled at the name his kids called Lena. Even though she was young, she truly deserved it. Lena smiled warmly.
I'm right here, sweetheart.
Son, I really don't get it. Why aren't you like your brother? He loves me, but you act like I'm your enemy.
Lena smiled at Lucas's childish frustration and spoke shyly.
Owen just stays away because your beard pokes him when you get close. But Leo likes being near you because he thinks it's something new.
How do you even understand them like that? I'm their father, and I still don't know what they like or don't like.
It's just because you're not close to them. I learned everything easily because I'm always with them. And I guess I got lucky being like a mom to them.
But Leo and Owen are completely different.
I know. Leo has a stronger personality. I feel like he always wants things his way. But Owen is softer. You can reason with him more easily.
Lucas smiled sadly, thinking about how distant he was from his kids because of work. Lena noticed.
When they grow up a little more, they'll get closer to you, and you'll know everything about them. There's no need to be upset. Their personalities will change as they grow.
I know, Lena.
All right, let's eat.
Lucas sat down and started eating. Lena sat in her seat and began feeding the kids without eating herself. Lucas noticed and spoke with concern.
Let them eat on their own, Lena. You should eat too. You always feed them first.
I'm used to it, Mr. Lucas.
Lucas nodded and changed the subject.
By the way, Lena, Maya, the kids' aunt, is coming back from her trip in 2 weeks to see them.
The spoon slipped from Lena's hand. Lucas looked at her.
What's wrong?
Nothing. I'm sorry. It just slipped.
Does Maya bother you when she visits?
Not at all, Mr. Lucas. Excuse me. I need to change Leo's clothes. He's still wearing the same thing from this morning.
2 weeks later, Maya arrived at Lucas Stone's mansion, looking her best. The head of the house and the staff welcomed her. Maya walked toward Lena, who was sitting with Owen and Leo in front of the TV. She stopped in front of her and spoke loudly.
Hey, you idiot. Don't you see I'm here? Get up and take my bags to my room upstairs.
Lena raised an eyebrow and replied coldly.
Sorry, Miss Maya, but that's not my job. My job here is Owen and Leo. Anything else isn't my responsibility.
You're raising your voice at me too?
Lena stood in front of her.
Excuse me, ma'am. I can't raise my voice at you. It's just that what you're asking is a servant's job, not mine. I'm just explaining my point, but you don't want to understand.
So now you're saying I don't understand?
Of course not. Excuse me.
She took the kids and walked away. Leo laughed at that moment.
Mama!
Lena smiled at him.
My love. Come on, let's go up to our room, sweetheart.
She took a few steps, then stopped when she heard Maya mocking her.
Mama? Wow, you already became their mother and took my sister's place?
Please, Miss Maya, enough. Every time you see me, you hurt me with your words. I'm really tired. You always come, put me down, then leave.
Shut up. Now you're raising your voice at your masters? No wonder. You've been given the whole house and staff to control, and now you've taken my sister's place too. He rejected me just to give you her spot? You street-raised.
She suddenly stopped when she heard Lucas's loud voice.
Shut up. One more word and you'll find yourself out of this house, and you'll never come back.
Lena lowered her head, trying to hold back her tears, but she couldn't. They fell in front of Lucas. Seeing her tears made his anger grow. He stepped closer to Maya.
How dare you talk to her like that? The person you're insulting is the one taking care of your sister's kids, giving them her whole life. And you come here just to humiliate her?
Lucas, you're yelling at your cousin and your wife's sister because of her?
Yes, Maya, and I do anything for her. Lena has become essential in my life, and my kids' lives. We can't do anything without her. She's everything here.
So your words mean Lena is now the lady of the house, right?
Yes, Lena is the lady of the house. Not just a nanny. She's a mother to my kids. And if you're staying here, you need to apologize to her first. And while you're here, you need to respect your limits with her.
Maya clenched her hands in anger and looked at Lena with hate. She stepped closer to Lucas.
Fine, Lucas. Whatever you say. I'll apologize now, and I won't do anything to her again. But trust me, the time will come when you realize you were fooled by that innocent face.
I trust Lena completely. I know exactly who she is. You're not the one who's going to tell me about her.
Maya nodded, trying to stay calm and hide her anger toward Lena. She walked up to Lena and looked at her with resentment.
I'm sorry, Lena, but you really got on my nerves.
Maya,
I'm just explaining my point.
go to the guest room.
Fine. Can Leo and Owen come sit with me for a bit? I really miss them.
All right, no problem. You can take them. If they get upset or anything happens, call Lena to take them.
Okay.
Maya walked to the guest room. Lucas walked toward Lena. Her head was down, her tears falling, her voice trembling. It made his heart pound. He looked at her, sadness on his face.
Lena, please, can you stop crying?
Lena cried even more, feeling humiliated in front of him. Lucas felt even more frustrated and spoke sharply.
Stop crying. You don't know what your tears do to me.
Lena flinched at his voice, quickly wiped her tears, and tried to control her sobs. Lucas spoke with regret.
Lena, I'm sorry. I don't know how I raised my voice at you like that, but you really don't feel what I'm feeling.
It's okay, Mr. Lucas.
Mister again? Didn't I tell you before we dropped the titles? I did my part. I call you Lena, but you didn't.
I'm sorry. I can't say it like that, Mr.
Lena, we've been together for 5 years. You should be used to my presence by now.
Lena looked down at the floor, then back at him. Okay, I'll try, Mr. Lucas.
Just Lucas, please.
Okay, Lucas. Lucas cut her off, joking for the first time, dropping his seriousness.
Don't finish it. That sounds perfect. And I don't want to hear Mister again. Got it?
Got it.
One last thing, Lena. Never stay silent about your rights again. And don't hide anything from me. If Maya bothers you, tell me.
Okay, Lucas. Days passed, and Lucas started getting closer to Lena. She grew more attached to him and the kids, and they became her whole life. As for Maya, she was watching their growing closeness from a distance, trying to find a way to pull them apart, especially since she felt Lucas's feelings were starting to shift toward Lena. That night, Lena got dressed, and after she finished, she heard Lucas's car. She rushed downstairs, surprising herself. At the same time, Lucas walked in and came closer to her, looking at her with surprise.
Why are you still up?
I was waiting for you, Lucas.
Did something happen to one of the kids?
No, don't worry. They're fine. They're asleep.
Then why are you up?
I tried to sleep, but I couldn't. And honestly, I got worried when it got late and you still weren't home.
Lucas smiled in that moment when he felt her concern, but he hid it so he wouldn't embarrass her.
I know I'm late today. I had a few meetings, and when I finished, I came straight back.
Do you want me to make you something light to eat?
No, Lena, but maybe a cup of coffee if it's not too much trouble.
Coffee at this hour? It's already 2.
I know, but I've got a headache, and coffee's the only thing that helps me sleep.
Okay, I'll go make it.
I'll wait for you in the garden.
Lena nodded, trying not to fall in love with him. As for Lucas, he smiled, feeling something he had never felt before, not even with his wife. After a while, Lena came out with the coffee. She put it on the table and turned to leave, but Lucas's voice stopped her.
Can you sit with me for a bit, Lena?
Lena felt happy inside that he wanted her to stay. She did and sat across from him. She rubbed her hands nervously. Lucas spoke, wanting to break the silence between them.
Lena, you're comfortable here with us, right?
Of course. I'm very comfortable. I'm comfortable because I'm with Leo and Owen. They've become a part of me. I know I don't match your status, but they really became that for me. They filled my heart and my whole being, and made me feel the motherhood every girl naturally has inside her.
Lena, you're an honor to anyone. You should know that. And isn't it enough that you're giving your life to raise my kids?
Their mother passed away because of an illness, right?
No, Emma had problems with her womb. When she got pregnant, it was twins. Many doctors told her she had to abort, but she refused. She carried the pregnancy very carefully until she gave birth, and as soon as she saw them, she passed away.
May she rest in peace.
Amen.
He stayed quiet for a moment, then asked what he had been holding in for a long time.
Aren't you planning to move on with your life? Leave us and get married?
You know the contract terms, and there's no one suitable yet.
Forget the contract. If you find someone right, Lena, would you accept?
Lena went silent, not knowing the answer. She asked herself, could she leave Leo and Owen? More than that, could she stay away from Lucas after getting so attached to him? Lucas sensed the conflict inside her. He felt like there might be someone in her life, but the contract was stopping her. He spoke, pulling her out of her thoughts.
Lena, tell me what's on your mind. Don't be afraid. If there's someone in your life, I can ease the contract for you. You can come in the mornings and go back to them.
After gathering her courage, Lena spoke.
No, there's no one in my life. I never even thought about marriage. My life was all about my family. And after they passed, my life became Leo and Owen. I could never leave them or walk away, even if it means staying alone without getting married. Because I know if I take that step, I'll lose them. And God knows what they mean to me.
2 weeks later, in the dining room, Lucas was sitting at the table. Across from him was Lena, with Leo and Owen beside her. On the left side was Maya's seat, but she hadn't come down for breakfast like usual. After they finished eating, Maya stormed in like a volcano. She walked up to Lena angrily.
Where's Emma's necklace, you thief?
What necklace?
Don't act like you don't know what I'm talking about. The diamond necklace.
Lucas had been watching from the start. He noticed Maya crossing the line again. He slammed his hand on the table and spoke loudly.
Maya, what's going on? You're crossing your limits with Lena again, and I already warned you.
Lucas, believe me, this time I'm not crossing any limits. She really is a thief.
And what exactly did she steal from you for you to accuse her like that?
Today I decided to go into Emma's room. When I went in, I noticed your picture and the diamond necklace you gave her. I wanted to find it in the jewelry box so I could get one like it, but it was gone, and she's the one who took it.
Why couldn't it be one of the staff? They go into that room to clean.
Not the staff. I searched their rooms myself. Found nothing. The only room that wasn't searched is hers. And I'm sure if we search it, we'll find the necklace with her.
Lucas was about to speak, but Lena interrupted.
I agree to have my room searched, Ms. Maya. Just so you know, I didn't steal anything.
What are you saying?
Let her, Lucas. Let her search my room, so she knows she's wrong about me.
Lena walked with Maya and Lucas to her room. Maya searched every corner, then went to a specific spot and pulled out the necklace. She held it up in front of Lucas, who was shocked.
See? I was right, Lucas. She's the one who stole it, just like I said. Her plan was smart. She got close to her, got close to you too, and now she wants to take my sister's place.
She stepped closer to Lucas and continued, clearly stirring things up.
Ever since Emma died, I was the one who offered to marry you so I could raise my sister's kids. But you refused and chose to bring in a nanny. And here's the result, a thief.
Maya stood there coldly, arms crossed, a sly smile on her face, like she was watching a show. Lucas was furious at himself. He felt like he had been fooled by her fake innocence. Lena stood there in a heartbreaking position. Tears fell as she looked at him.
Believe me, Lucas. I don't know how that necklace got there. Please understand, I'm not a thief. I didn't steal anything. And I don't want to take anyone's place.
Why, Lena? Why would you do this? If you wanted anything, you could have asked me, and I would have gotten it for you. Why steal from me? Why betray me? I gave you a salary you could only dream of. I even opened a bank account in your name and kept the rest of your salary there. You were only taking $2,000 from it.
Lucas, please believe me. I'm being wronged. I've been with you for 5 years. Have you ever seen anything go missing from the house? Never. So why would I do this now?
Pack your things and get out of this house, and forget you ever knew me, or Leo and Owen. You have half an hour. If I still find you here after that, I'll deal with you differently.
Lucas walked out of the room, trying to control his anger. Maya stepped closer to Lena, gloating.
What, you thought I'd just let you have him like that? No way, sweetheart. Now you're out and I'm in. It's only a matter of time before you hear about our wedding all over the news.
She laughed mockingly, then left. Lena did as he said. She packed only her own clothes and left behind everything Lucas had bought her for special occasions. She went downstairs to say goodbye to Leo and Owen, but Maya stopped her. Lena left Lucas's mansion, the place where she had spent over 5 years of her life taking care of his children. She went back to her home, back to her empty, miserable life. She cried constantly after realizing she loved Lucas, loved him with all her heart, and her heart ached from being away from Leo and Owen. As for Lucas, he left the kids' care to Maya. She took care of them when he was around, but neglected them when he wasn't. He kept himself busy with work, trying not to think about Lena, who had taken a big place in his life and heart. At that moment, Max walked into his office.
Sir, there's a video you need to see from the security cameras in your house.
Not now, Max.
Trust me, once you see it, everything will change.
Lucas nodded. Max played the video. It showed Maya taking the necklace from the jewelry box and putting it in Lena's room. Another video showed her treating Leo and Owen very badly. Lucas threw the phone in anger.
How did I forget about the security cameras? And how did Maya turn out like this? I'm the idiot. I believed her and accused Lena, when I was sure she could never do something like that.
Mr. Lucas, may I say something?
Lucas nodded.
I don't know, Miss Lena, but it's obvious she could never do that. Honestly, I was surprised you believed it, but now I understand why.
Lucas looked at him, waiting.
Because your heart chose her and wants her. I saw it myself, but your mind was refusing it. Take my advice, sir. Miss Lena is the best one for you and for your kids.
Lena will never forgive me, Max.
She will, sir. When someone truly loves, they forgive.
A few hours later, Maya found out Lucas had exposed her. He threw her out of the house and sent her back to America. For good this time. Lucas got Leo and Owen ready, and they left. After a while, they arrived at the simple neighborhood where Lena lived. He went up to her place. She heard a knock on the door. She opened it, and as soon as she saw Leo and Owen, she rushed to them, knelt down, and hugged them tightly. Then she stood up again and looked at Lucas.
You can take them back any time you leave.
Lena, I'm sorry. Forgive me. I know you were wronged. I only found out the truth a few hours ago. I got your right back from Maya, and she's gone. Back to America, and she's never coming back.
Lena turned her back to him, speaking coldly, hiding the longing inside her.
Thank you, Mr. Lucas. That won't be necessary. I'll sit with them for a bit. Then you can take them.
She finished speaking and went inside with the kids, sitting in the living room. Lucas followed and sat in front of her.
Marry me, Lena.
She looked at him in shock.
Marry you? Me? The thief you pitied and paid more than she deserved?
I'm sorry. I know I hurt you. But believe me, I couldn't see it. Maya played her part perfectly, and I followed my anger, and my mind that was rejecting my feelings for you.
Your feelings.
Yes, Lena, my feelings. I love you. I don't know when or how, but from the first day you came into my house, into my life and my kids' lives, you made us all attached to you. We can't eat or live without you. Please, say yes. Spend the rest of your life with me.
Lena wiped her tears, feeling so happy inside. Lucas stood up, helped her up, and stood in front of her.
I love you. I really do, Lena. Please say yes.
I accept, because I love you too, without even meaning to. I loved you because of how kind you are to Leo and Owen. I loved you because of your actions, Lucas, and the way you care about me. I loved you because my heart told me to. I love you, Lucas.
And I love you too. I love you, my heart, my soul.
And that brings us to the end of today's story. I really hope you enjoyed it and got lost in its events, just like I did while creating it for you. This is Bero from English Stories with Bero. I have some exciting news. The channel is now fully organized, and I've decided to post a new, full story every 3 to 4 days, so I won't be away for long. But of course, this depends on your support. The next story will only be delayed if the engagement is low, because your likes and comments are what keep me going and help me bring you the best content. For those who love extra long stories, I'm preparing some amazing multi-episode series for you. I'll start uploading them as soon as our family here grows a bit more. So don't forget to like, comment, and share this video with your friends so we can grow faster and start these surprises. I'm looking forward to reading all your lovely comments. See you in a new story in just a few days. Bye, friends.